Do you think you own the Kindle books that you buy? Well, think again, because Amazon is quietly making changes that can make it harder for you to keep access to those ebooks that you buy. Let's talk about what's happening and, more importantly, what can you do about it? So what exactly is happening? So Amazon recently announced that it is removing the download the USB option on the Kindle. This was the feature that lets you download your ebooks to your computer as a file, and then you can transfer them manually to a different Kindle or another reader outside of the Kindle. It was especially useful for people who wanted to back up those books so that you can always have them, the comfort of keeping them forever, or load them onto your other devices. But now Amazon is removing that option entirely on February 26th. So if you go to the Manage Your Content and Devices page, you will no longer see the download to USB feature on your new purchases or for the books that you have already bought. So why does this matter? On the surface, this might not seem like a huge deal to you because you might think, oh, of course, I'm going to read it on my Kindle. It doesn't really change. Most people do that, where you're just reading it on your Kindle or your Kindle app, and so it might not affect you at all. But let's dive deeper, because here is the issue. This change means that you have even less control over the books that you purchased. Just because you bought it doesn't mean you own it in this case. When you buy a Kindle book, you are not actually buying a permanent copy. Let that sink in with you, because maybe you've never thought about that at all. You paid for it, you think you own it, but you are licensing it from Amazon. And that means Amazon still has full control over your access to that book. That can go either way. So they can remove it from your library, change your formatting, or even revoke the access completely if they stop getting the license for that book. This has happened before. An example is 1984 by George Orwell. It was famously deleted from users' Kindles without any sort of warning. If things are communicated to me, I'm doing a lot better with that than all of a sudden my book's disappearing, right? Now, there is the flip side of it, where I had a Kate Stewart book, and when the bonus chapters came out, because it got more widely published, it wasn't indie anymore, I got those bonus chapters on my Kindle. And so it does go both ways, friends. When there are updates to the Amazon library, you get that. But again, you don't own it. So if it goes away, or if there's some sort of glitch, or Amazon decides something, it is not yours to completely keep. Now, with download to USB gone, it is much harder to make personal backups of the books that you have paid for. You might say, yeah, that makes sense, because in what you're telling me, Amy, you don't own it. But we have a very hard time with that, right? Because we have paid for it. But that means that Amazon, if they ever decide to pull a book from its store, change its DRM policies, or even locks you out of your account, you could lose access to your whole entire digital library. And if you've had conversations with customer service agents, you know it might take a while for you to get your stuff back. So people might be saying, well, what are my options? Can I just leave Kindle? I can look at other options. It is hard to leave the platform, and there are a number of reasons why. There are so many books that are exclusive to Amazon and Kindle. Obviously, it is made in that way to make it more of a monopoly, but many indie authors publish exclusively on Amazon. If you have seen the exclusive to Audible, exclusive to Amazon Kindle, right? There are direct publishing negotiations that are made. So these are not available on Kobo, which is a very big Kindle alternative, and they have their own store and everything too, right? But for example, their Kobo library, they have a Kobo Plus as well. I think it's like at 1.5 million titles that are offered, compared to Amazon has over 4 million. So that is a big difference, and that also factors into why people are willing to pay more for Kindle Unlimited or Audible or different things like that, right? There's also Apple Books. And of course, there are the physical copies that you can buy. And my favorite things are the library. So of course, you are not keeping those, but if you are okay with renting them or borrowing them, the library is a great option. You just have to wait for it to become available. But of course, there's Hoopla, things of that nature where you can get it for free. It's just a limited selection. There's no way around it. Amazon dominates the ebook market with the biggest selection of both mainstream and indie titles. And with other ebook stores added, they just don't have that same depth, meaning a lot of readers are stuck with the Kindle simply because that's where your favorite books and authors are. And they make it really, really easy. The convenience and the ecosystem has you locked in because it is super easy to shop on Amazon, add that Kindle, add that WhisperSync audiobook too, right? Amazon makes it incredibly, incredibly easy to stay within the ecosystem. Goodreads is part of it. All these things sync across devices, the highlights, the notes that are saved, everything works seamlessly. When you try to move to another platform, you are rebuying books or dealing with clunkier interfaces, or you're going to go download all the stuff that you already bought to try to move it over in the next few days before all that goes away, right? So, workarounds. What can you do? If you're concerned about losing access to your ebooks, here are a few options. Use the Send to Kindle feature before it is too late. As of this recording, you have less than a week, friends. So some of you might be running and doing this for the next few days where you are downloading everything that you have purchased so that you get to keep it forever. This method is not perfect, but it might help you maintain the access for now for the favorite books that you have purchased. You may also consider alternative ebook platforms. Like I said, Kobo is a huge one. It has a Kindle Reader-esque alternative, and it has its own store. Like I had mentioned before, there's also Google Play Books, and there's also Apple Books. They offer different levels of control over your purchases. Some of them do allow your download DRM-free copies of books so that you can keep them forever. It's not the leasing feature. You can also look into DRM-free books, which means you will likely go directly to the author's website or the publisher's website. That is also a very great way to support the authors that you absolutely love. I have heard many times that Amazon is not great for the authors themselves and what they get paid as a result of purchases that are made. So if you have authors that you absolutely love and you want to support them, going direct is often the best way. Of course, you can always get the physical books that you absolutely love. There is no question about that. You buy it, you keep it, it is on your shelf forever until you discard of it or you just love it so much that the pages fall apart. Amazon is making it very clear and reminding you that you do not own your Kindle books like you do your physical books. You are just borrowing them, renting them, leasing them. Will this push you to consider other platforms, or are you sticking with your tried and true Kindle? Let's chat in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more book discussions.